Hi, I'm Theo, and these broadcasts are to support the blogs on nomoreshee.com's website as well as the online classes. In this episode, where can I access English translations of the Septuagint, the Old Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible? Welcome back to the No More Sea broadcast for another episode where we're going to discuss the Greek Septuagint, or the Old Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible. We have already discussed the Septuagint in other videos. I highly recommend you go visit that in our Second Temple Period series. In that video, and scholars tend to suggest that there's around a correlation of a 60% of the time usage, at least, of the New Testament writers when they are citing from the Hebrew Bible, which Christians call the Old Testament. More than 60% of the time, they're probably using the Old Greek, suggesting that, it became known as the Christian's Bible. And so it's important for you to be able to interact with that on some scale at some point in biblical studies. And so what we're doing here today is showing you a couple ways, suggesting some ways that you can do that. Now, since on our channel, we have shown you that inside Logos Bible software, once you go through all the steps that we have to getting the aspects of Logos that are freely available to those who sign up through the various means that we suggest, you can actually access that in Logos. So here in Logos, I have opened up a window, and in the left pane, I have the LXX English Bible, which is their English translation of the Bible, just like any other English translation of the Bible. And it's more suited toward working with the original language text, so that if you're doing any work interlinear, then this text is going to be a little bit easier toward that end while still maintaining some English. So it's the in-house version of the Bible for those from Faith Life who have made Logos, and it's from LXX Press. Typically, most, if not all, obviously, translations of the Bible prefer to stick with the Hebrew as the base text when they're doing translations. And so on the left panel here, you see I have the LXX English Bible. And I've opened it up to Isaiah chapter 52, verse 13. And you can scroll down through here and compare that. And then you have all this wonderful information in Logos with the reversal interlinear down below, where you can click on a word up here in the text, and it's going to appear down here in the original language for you, and you can check that out rather easily and go through this. And so, but what you'll find out is that if you go to the Old Greek, it's slightly different. And again, utilizing Logos Bible software, we have in the LXX English Septuagint. Their version is an English translation. Now, this is the first edition, and it's the one that comes with the free versions of Logos. There is a second edition that has come out where they've improved it, obviously. So I think you have to purchase that at this point. I'm not sure which version you'll get. In the free version that I have, the demo version I have for my students, this is the version that came with mine. And you'll see that, again, I have access to Isaiah 52, verse 13. And I can click on any word, and it's going to, down here in the reverse interlinear, is going to connect me directly to the original language. In this case, it's Greek. It's a Greek translation of the Hebrew text. And this is going to correspond, as I've been trying to say, with your New Testament, because, number one, the New Testament was done in Greek. And so it's always interesting to compare when you think you might have an allusion, an echo, or an actual citation from the Hebrew Bible by the New Testament writers. You can go here and see the Greek, and you can make comparisons and begin to understand where they follow the Old Greek, the Septuagint version, translation of the Bible, or where they may be using something else, that's more lines with either the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Samaritan Pentateuch or, something else that we don't have extant today. So there might be some slight variations. And so it's always fun to play with those and get a better understanding when a biblical author chooses to use it, and you can see and make connections. And again, you can open up in your LXX English Bible a passage where this is being, used, such as 1 Peter. And so 1 Peter is going to talk about this right here in chapter 2, right around verses 21 and following, and you can compare the Greek that's here and what Peter's doing with the Greek that's in the Septuagint, and then parallel that with what's going on in the Hebrew and kind of make some connections there and see what's going on and how the biblical authors do something different there. And it's always fun to check that out, like when James in Acts chapter 15 is quoting Amos 9 and other places. There's so many other places where you can make these comparisons. And so this is one way. And then you have something like the New English Translation of Septuagint available at this website. And again, I have all these links to these places in my PDF Bible study tools, but in case you can't find it, and there's many links there for you to find all these things, and all I did was Google this. But again, some people wonder where I get all my resources. Well, I just Googled this stuff, so I know the New English Translation of the Septuagint is out there. So I'm looking for it, and I Google it, and here's an electronic edition of it. You can go to any passage and collect those. And there's, Isaiah, and you can check out these files and get access to this. So you can get into these things and find them and get what you need for your studies to understand these things. And so it's fascinating. So here's the Greek, introduction. And here's the translation, and you just scroll down to Isaiah 52, and you can have the notes that's involved behind the translation work, and, you can get everything here for you to experience it right here online and read it and understand it for yourself, to see what's going on with another English translation. Because as people have learned, whenever you do biblical studies, a good thing is to read the Bible in as many different translations in your primary language as you possibly can. And find different translations that do slightly different philosophies of translation to give you an idea to see what's going on. And that can lead you then to understand things going on behind the text that might alert you to things that are more related to the original languages. And then you can dig into those to some extent. And so by having Brenton's Septuagint and by having this New English translation of the Septuagint available, and then you have the LXX through Logos, you have three ways to look at how the old Greek was translated into English and what was behind their thinking when they translated them. And it will help you then, especially with Logos, to get into, if possible, you can get into the original language. And here's all the different translations you have available in the free version if you followed the steps. And here we go. We have Sweet's version of the Old Testament Greek, and you actually have the Greek here. So flat out have the Greek, and you can compare the Greek, and then you can slide over here and switch this up and do the LXX English Septuagint, and you can have the full Greek text right laying side by side. This makes it a lot easier for you to bounce back and forth between those and see if, when you're dealing with the biblical languages, what you're doing with the text, and then see what others have done with it when they brought it over into the English, to compare what you're doing, your biblical language work, with theirs and see why they chose to do something different than you did to help you make better choices. And then see what the biblical authors are doing, what the Hebrew's doing, and then also see something like what's going on, with the New Testament writers, why they're choosing this over that, or what they're doing. And either they're drawing upon the Old Greek, they're drawing upon the Hebrew, they're drawing upon something from the Dead Sea Scrolls or the Samaritan Pentateuch, perhaps. That's more something of a flavor that's going on. You can check the Targums. You can check and see how different ones are doing differently with these texts, and then kind of get a picture for how this is understood through the centuries in the original languages, and then how it's been brought to English in the modern translations, and kind of get a feel for this. And what's interesting too is, along with these, as you'll see here, you've got some of your other books from the Apocrypha also in these. So that's pretty nice that you have access to those inside NETS's translation and also inside Logos, because you can clearly see here that we have these extra also in Logos that comes free with free versions of Logos that you can have access to the Wisdom of Solomon. And there you go. You have the Greek text right there beside you. And this version of Logos I'm using right here on the screen at the moment, I did not pay for any of this. It just came free by following those steps. And so you have access. And so this can really help unlock things for you. So I'm hoping that these videos will help you in accessing the Septuagint. Traditionally, there is a version out there that's been around for many years that's freely available in software like eSword called Brenton's. It's an older, outdated translation that you can get, I'm sure, online in many different places. So check out where you might find Brenton's English translation of the Old Greek, often referred to as a Septuagint, of the Hebrew Bible. And that's how I initially was able to access this. Again, here's a website that I accessed, and it's another website that's available in the Bible Study Tools PDF, but here is Brenton's. So, it was done around 1851 based on the suite that I showed you in Logos. And you can go down through here, click on any one of these, and you can get access to his translation of these works, and you can find what you're looking for, and it will help you study. So it's just another free way for you to access. All I did was, again, I went in my browser and did a Google search. I just typed in Brenton LXX, and this website popped up. There's many ways to do this. So hopefully this, again, we're hoping that these things will help you, because, again, the New Testament authors are doing over 60% of the time, they're going here. And so trying to help you to get there is important. So once again, I just clicked on Isaiah, and I can go down here and grab 52 and grab that and click and get to 52. But you can see what I'm able to do. So here's Isaiah, and just click on your whichever chapter you want. It'll take you there, and you have access to the Brenton translation, giving you 3 English versions of the Old Greek to compare with the New Testament authors, with the Hebrew in your Hebrew Bible, the Christians call the Old Testament, or with your own work in the original languages. Thank you very much, and God bless you for listening. Stay tuned for more episodes in videos to help you with your journey from nomorec.com.